Hello again everybody, this is Gusto, and today I'm going to review something that I've been waiting quite a while to explore. And part of the reason I've been waiting to get into this one is I've been working on validating that this is a true Russian mountain ration, or as it's also known as the Russian FSB. And in the near future, I think Old Smoky is going to do a comparison between a real FSB and one that is a repackaged standard IRP, which seem to be all over the place on eBay. And the true FSB rations are much more rare, a lot harder to find. So if we take a look at the outer packaging, the ration itself is in this tough green exterior package with the green film on top. And here's a look at the content card. And you can see here the calorie count on this is 5,118. And again, this is a menu number 1, and there are only 2 menus of the authentic FSB rations. So let's take a look inside this thing. Carefully cut around the edge here so I don't cut anything inside. Alright, so let's take a look at the contents. First we have goulash with potatoes. There you can see the production date of 12/5/2015, the expiration date 2018. Next we have buckwheat porridge with beef. Next we have dried rice porridge. Next, an instant soup with meat, a package of pork mince sausage, an instant wheat porridge with meat, a pouch of pâté, a liver pâté. There is a can of cream cheese, as well as I can translate it with Google Translate. This item, this translates to paste. Google Translate isn't doing a very good job on the rest, but we'll find out what that is. This comes with 5 packages of crackers. Also comes with 5 chocolate bars. A package of apple jam. A fruit bar. 3 packages of instant cherry drink. 2 tea bags. Instant coffee. 6 disinfectant wipes. 3 spoons. 3 large packages of sugar, salt, pepper, multivitamin, water purification tablets, matches, a stove with fuel tablets, a flameless ration heater with 1 additional element, and some napkins. So there you have it, gigantic assortment of food. And one of the key elements here is that it does have a flameless ration heater as well as retort pouches rather than cans. As with most of my 24-hour reviews, I will break this into 3 meals, being breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I will say that this entire ration has a little bit of a sour scent to it. More than just kind of a stale scent, but actually kind of smells like something may have been breached and gone bad. You can kind of see an oily stain on that paper. So there may be something in here that the packaging has been compromised. So I'm going to approach this with a little bit of caution. I get asked frequently if any of these items have made me sick, and the answer is not yet. And that's because I approach everything with an eye and nose test. If it doesn't look good and it doesn't smell good, then I'm not going to eat it. Okay, so here's what I've chosen for breakfast. We have a package of crackers with some apple jelly, also the ground sausage, rice porridge, the fruit bar, a cherry drink, coffee, and some sugar. So let's take a look at the crackers, and these are the same style of crackers that I had in the Russian prison guard ration. It has 8 crackers in here. Some of them seem to be pretty broken up. This is probably the best package out of the lot. Try to get some good ones. Put a couple out here. Guess we'll save a few for later. And if you take a look at these look just kind of like thick saltine crackers. And those will go quite well with this apple jelly, and there's 100 grams of it in here, so quite a bit of this product. Next we have a fruit bar, and this lists apricots, prunes, and nuts. Oh, there you go. It looks basically like a thick fruit paste. Next we have this ground sausage, and this does contain pork and beef. Take a look at this. Oh goodness. Look at that. quite interesting. There is quite a bit of fat left in the package there, you can see. That has a very strong, salty pork, meaty scent to it. Next we'll prepare the rice porridge, and we'll use my bumblebee bowl for that. And this pack does come with this little tool, and I'm guessing that its purpose is for opening these foil pouches. I'm not exactly sure how it works. It has this groove on there for, I'm sure, cutting something, but we'll just use the easy way and just kind of punch it and cut it open like that. Yeah, it works okay. Yeah. Not bad. So there's the rice porridge. And it does have some fruit in there listed on the ingredients, and I think those are raisins. And this does not give very specific instructions other than to add this to boiling water. It doesn't say how much water to add. I'll just do my best. That looks reasonable. We'll give that a few minutes to rehydrate. And for beverages, we have the instant cherry beverage. There you go. Kind of looks like a pink sugar. That calls for 200 milliliters of water. And next, coffee. Again, there's the instant coffee package. We'll add a little bit of sugar. Alright, so there you go for breakfast. So let's start with this main item, and this is the rice porridge. You may get some of the raisins in there, as well as some of the, I'm guessing this is rice. It also lists groats, which is kind of the hulled exterior of grains. That may be what that is too. It's in this creamy liquid, and it does have dried milk in the ingredients. And that's pretty good. It has a texture of like instant oatmeal, maybe a little bit more coarse than that, and a similar flavor as well. It has a little bit of saltiness, but also creaminess at the same time, and then the raisins add some sweetness to it as well. Pretty good. Next, the crackers. We'll try them on their own. Again, they kind of look like a thick saltine cracker. Nice and crispy. They have a really good crunch to them as well. We'll try some with the apple jelly. There you go. It's a really thick, dark spread like apple butter. Actually looks exactly like apple butter. Looks very good. And that's delicious. Very, very much like apple butter. But it actually has a little bit more tartness to it than the apple butter that we have here in the United States. It tastes a lot more like fresh apples rather than having a lot of sugar added. It's very, very good. And then with the crackers, we'll try a little bit of this sausage. Again, this is a ground sausage. There you go. A lot of fat in there. You can see it's just kind of a coarsely ground, almost like pâté, but just a little bit more coarse. Looks a lot like the ground sausage that was in that Russian prison ration also. Let me give that a shot. And that does have a pretty strong salty pork flavor to it. It's a little bit softer and more finely ground than that prison guard ration pork sausage. It is very fatty. It actually has a little bit of spice to it. It actually has a decent flavor. I'm surprised. Not bad. We'll move on to the fruit bar. And again, this has apricots and prunes and nuts in it. You can see the detail there. You can see the nuts in there. Very dense. There, if we break it. And again, a very natural fruit flavor. It doesn't taste more like prunes or apricots. It's actually a fairly even blend of both. Actually has a very nice soft texture to it with a little bit of crunchiness with those nuts. That's a very good item there. And we'll move on to the drinks. We'll give the cherry drink another stir. There's a little bit of sediment in the bottom there. And there was a lot of sugar for the 200 milliliters that it called for. You can see a little bit of the granules down at the bottom. That's alright. It's kind of a clear pink liquid, and that's pretty good. That would be very refreshing. It's nice and sweet, has kind of an artificial cherry flavor to it. And then last we have the coffee with a little bit of sugar in it. It makes a pretty dark coffee. Nice scent. That's very good. It's pretty smooth, but actually a full body coffee. It's pretty bold, but very good flavor. So there's breakfast. Very pleasing assortment of items here. And we'll go ahead and move on to lunch. So for lunch I've chosen the buckwheat porridge with meat, the pork pâté, the canned cream cheese, the instant soup, tea, and this chocolate spread. Unfortunately, this chocolate spread is what was compromised. You can see the package opened right there and there was some stuff leaking out. So I can't eat this, unfortunately, but I'll open it and see what the appearance is. So first things first, for the main item, we will use this flameless ration heater. And it only has one bag and it has a refill basically for the heating element. The instructions say to open the bag. There's your instructions if you want to translate those. So to open the bag, and then put the heating element down inside the bag, and then the food item in contact with the element at the bottom of the bag. Like that. Then it says to add 100 milliliters of water to the bag to saturate the heating element. Fold it over and tape it shut. There's 2 tape strips for 2 uses of this bag. And it says to lay it on a hard flat surface for heating for about 10 to 15 minutes. So inside the bag you can see the heating element is starting to swell pretty significantly, produce some heat and a little bit of noise. I have a feeling this is going to get fairly vigorous. Nice. Get a couple more of these crackers out. We'll prepare the soup with the potatoes and meat. Again, the bumblebee bowl. There you go. You can see some grains in there as well as some vegetables. It has a really strong scent to it. Very pleasant, strong vegetable scent. And this does call for 330 milliliters of water. We'll give that a stir, carefully. We'll set that aside to rehydrate. We'll go ahead and open the pâté, and this is pork. There's the ingredients on the back, and it does contain pork brains. So there you go, just a paste in there. Next, the canned cheese, and this translates to cream cheese. We'll see what it looks like inside. There you go, just kind of a canned cheese. And it smells like any processed cheese. Then we have the chocolate paste. Unfortunately can't eat this because the package is compromised. There you go, it looks like a rich chocolate paste. Doesn't smell bad. I might be brave, we'll see. And we'll take a second to mention that this does come with disinfectant wipes. And this one is for dishes, this one's for hands. Next, the tea. There you go. Typical tea bag. Looks like black tea. Set that aside. And this ration does come with 3 of these instant cherry drinks, but since I already reviewed it, I'm not going to open it at lunch also. Keep it for later. And the flameless ration heater has finished its job. Go ahead and open that up. That thing got really hot. Pretty impressive. Again, this is buckwheat porridge with meat. There you go. Very coarse grains there, kind of a savory scent coming off of it. And after opening that flameless ration heater, the scent that was coming out of the box is the same scent as the chemicals in that bag. So that may be a good sign that the food items may be okay. So let's get started with the main item, and then again this is the buckwheat porridge with meat And it is kind of a dry, coarse grains in here with some meat pieces. So there you go up close. Very large grains. And that's really interesting. The texture is very coarse, very large pieces of grain. It's almost like dense barley or just really coarse wheat, which it is. And then it has a salty beef flavor to it as well. It's actually pretty pleasant. It's just a really substantial food item. There's certainly a lot of energy in here, and it would last a long time. It'd be very, very filling. Next we'll move on to the pork pâté. And there you go. It's very finely ground, kind of pale in color, a little pinkish. Put some of that on the cracker. It's kind of airy in texture. Actually has a very mild scent to it. And that's actually not bad. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to it. There's really not a lot of saltiness to it. The texture is very finely ground, very airy and light. Yeah, not bad. Then we'll go ahead and try this cheese. Again, it's just kind of a yellow processed cheese appearing product. Not unlike the United States cheese spread. There you go. But the flavor is much different. It's very, very mild as far as cheesy flavor. It's not salty at all. It's a lot more paste-like than the cheese spread that you see in the MREs. It's almost like a cream cheese flavor. Not a bad flavor though. As for the chocolate spread, there you can see the appearance on the surface. It's just kind of a dense chocolate paste is what it looks like. Now the bottom of this is, there's a little crack. But the top of it looks okay and it smells fine. I'm going to be adventurous and try a little bit on the cracker. Kind of looks like Nutella. Has kind of a rich chocolate scent to it. Yeah, that's really nice actually. Has a really sweet chocolate flavor to it. Actually tastes just fine. That's really nice actually. But I won't go any further and eat any more just because it's a little risky. Next we have the soup. And again, this is kind of a vegetable soup with some meat in it. It's got some grains in there as well. Looks like some barley and wheat. Essentially it looks like a soup version of the porridge there on the plate. That's actually really tasty. It has a lot of vegetables in there. It has a really strong vegetable broth in there, and it has a lot of herbs in there as well. And I think the one that stands out the most is dill. It's got a really strong dill flavor to it. And we'll wash all that down with our tea. I'll add a little bit of sugar. Give it a stir. It's got a nice color to it. Yeah, that's really good. That's a nice, strong black tea. Very good flavor. So that's it for lunch. Very interesting items there. Overall, very tasty. We'll go ahead and move on to dinner. So for dinner, I've chosen the goulash with potatoes, the instant porridge with meat, the beef pâté, cherry drink, tea bag, some more crackers, chocolate bar. I've got the main item heating in some boiling water. I didn't want to waste that second flameless ration heater element. That may be good to have on hand in the future. The first thing that we'll prepare is this wheat porridge with meat. Again, I'll use the bumblebee bowl for that. And this is a dehydrated or freeze-dried instant item. You can see the large pieces of buckwheat in there, and then the dehydrated meat bits. And this calls for 130 milliliters of hot water. So there's that. Give it a stir. Set that aside to rehydrate. Next we'll get out a few more crackers. And these are the same. There's only one variety of crackers in this ration. And they're pretty broken up. There's a couple that look okay. Next we have the beef pâté. And there's the ingredients there, if you want to translate. This also says that it contains beef brains. Pretty similar in appearance to the pork pâté. We also have the chocolate bar, and there's 5 of these in this ration. And it is a very dark appearing chocolate. But no oxidation or blooming on that. Looks really good. We also have another tea. And again, it comes with 3 cherry drinks. Since we've already reviewed that, we'll save that for later. And for the main item, we have the goulash. I heated it up on the stovetop. So there you have it. For the main item, there's the goulash, lots of potatoes, and looks like maybe some kind of a tomato-based broth. There's pretty good pieces of shredded meat in there. It smells pretty good. So we'll go ahead and start with that. Let's try to get some meat, some of the potatoes, and some of the sauce. Try everything. And there you go, up close. See the texture of the meat? Yeah, that's not bad. It's kind of a tomato sauce. The texture of the potatoes is nice. It's more like a stew than anything else. The flavor of the beef is pretty good. It's a little bit salty, but they are pretty respectable sized pieces of meat in there. Certainly bigger than was in the porridge with meat, but a similar flavor to it. That's pretty good. Next we'll try the porridge. And again, this is wheat porridge with meat. And it has rehydrated into just a very thick, pasty, sticky substance. Kind of looks like an instant oatmeal with meat in it. But you can see the very large pieces of grains in there. And that's not bad. I'm guessing that the intention is to have a similar item to the buckwheat with meat that I had in the lunch portion of this video, but it's a lot more mushy. It's really similar to the difference between steel cut oats versus instant oats. There's not a whole lot of substance to them. They don't really hold together very well. It's more of a pasty consistency than anything. You really can't taste the meat in there. It's fairly bland. Next we'll move on to the pâté. And again, this is beef pâté. Get this little piece there. There you can see the texture. It's a little bit more red than the pork pâté, a little darker in color, and it's a little bit more coarse and not quite as airy as the pork pâté. And as expected, it has a little bit stronger flavor. It's a little bit more salty than the pork pâté, and it just has a fuller flavor. It is a very finely ground texture, and it's overall pretty pleasant. Not bad at all. We'll try some of this tea again, and this is the same variety of tea. A little bit of sugar in there. And again, that's a very nice black tea. Very good flavor, just very good tea. And lastly, we'll finish with the chocolate. There we go, a very dark appearing chocolate. And that is excellent chocolate. Very nice dark chocolate flavor. A little bit sweeter than some of the other European dark chocolates, but a very, very nice, rich, smooth flavor. Very good chocolate. So that does it for the review on the Russian Mountain Ration, or FSB, and this has been a fantastic ration to explore. I appreciate Drew78 from MREinfo.com for sending this to me. And please look out for Old Smokey doing the comparison between the real FSBs and the lookalikes, which seem to be all over the place on eBay. So be careful when you're buying these things. These are the components that you get in a true Russian Mountain Ration, and all of these items are outstanding to try. So as always, thank you to all the viewers and subscribers for your support. Again, your support benefits St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Thank you to all the MRE review community on YouTube, as well as the folks over on MREinfo.com. Check that place out for a really comprehensive compilation of information regarding military rations. So please stay tuned, a lot more stuff coming up, including some pretty big projects in the future. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.